Ever wonder what happens when a gold digger meets a calm man with boundaries? I was standing in the bathroom of the most expensive French restaurant in the city, scrubbing soap off my hands, when my pocket vibrated against my thigh. It wasn't a text. It wasn't an email. It was the specific, jarring double buzz of my banking security app. I dried my hands on a paper towel, feeling a sudden, cold knot tighten in my stomach, and pulled the phone out. The screen was glowing with a red notification banner that made the blood drain from my face. Identity guard alert, new inquiry detected. TransUnion credit report accessed. I stared at the screen. I hadn't applied for a loan. I wasn't buying a house. I wasn't financing a car. I was on a third date with a woman named Vanessa, a woman who had spent the last 2 hours asking me very specific questions about my 5-year plan and why I chose to drive a 2018 Honda Civic when I seemed so ambitious. I unlocked the phone to see the details. The inquiry had been initiated 45 seconds ago. From a mobile device. I didn't rush out of the bathroom immediately. I stood there, staring at my reflection in the mirror, watching my pupils dilate as the realization hit me like a freight train. I had left my wallet on the table. I had left it right next to the bread basket because I didn't like sitting on it. In that wallet was my driver's license, my primary debit card, and, stupidly, my social security card which I had needed for a bank appointment earlier that day and forgot to take out. I walked out of the restroom. The restaurant was dimly lit, filled with the soft clinking of silverware and the low murmur of people pretending to be happier than they were. I navigated through the tables, keeping my eyes fixed on booth 14. Vanessa wasn't looking at the menu. She wasn't looking at the door, waiting for me. She was hunched over the table, the soft candlelight illuminating her face. In her left hand, she held my driver's license. In her right hand, her thumb was flying across her iPhone screen with a speed that was honestly impressive if it wasn't so terrifying. I stopped 5 feet away. I just watched her. She flipped the license over, checked the back, then typed something else. She tapped the screen, waited, and then a slow, satisfied smile spread across her face. It was the kind of smile a shark gives before it drags a seal into the deep. She set the license back on the table, slid it perfectly into the leather slot of my wallet, and closed it. She picked up her water glass, took a sip, and looked up. When she saw me standing there, she didn't jump. She didn't look guilty. She just smiled, that practiced, dazzling smile that had hooked me on Hinge 3 weeks ago. "Everything okay?" she asked, her voice smooth as silk. "I don't know," I said, my voice dangerously low. "My bank seems to think someone just tried to run a credit check on me." I sat down. The air between us instantly shifted from romantic tension to a cold war. Vanessa didn't flinch. She didn't apologize. She just set her glass down and looked me dead in the eye. "Well," she said, shrugging her shoulders like we were discussing the weather. I had to be sure. "Sure of what?" I asked, feeling the heat rising in my neck. "Sure that I'm a real person. You could have Googled me. Sure that you aren't wasting my time," she hissed, her voice dropping to a whisper so the couple next to us wouldn't hear. "Look, David. We're not 21 anymore. I'm 27. You're 28. Valentine's Day is next week. I don't date projects. I date investments." I blinked. "Investments? I'm a human being, Vanessa. You drive a Honda," she shot back, pointing a manicured finger at me. "You wear a watch that doesn't have a brand name on the face. You rent an apartment instead of buying. On paper, you look like a dead end. But you talk like you have money. You carry yourself like you have money." I needed to know which version was the lie. "So you stole my ID and ran a credit check while I was peeing?" "I verified your potential," she corrected me. "And honestly, I'm impressed. 810 credit score. Low debt-to-income ratio. Significant assets in your brokerage account. You're doing a lot better than you look. I felt my vision go blurry with rage. This wasn't just a violation of privacy, it was a violation of my entire philosophy. I didn't drive a Honda because I was broke. I drove a Honda because I was a lead back-end engineer for a fintech startup that had gone public last year. I had cashed out enough equity to retire today if I wanted to. I lived quietly because I was terrified of exactly this, women who looked at me and saw a walking ATM. You violated federal privacy laws, I whispered, leaning across the table. You committed identity fraud to see if I was worthy of buying you a steak dinner. Oh, stop being dramatic, she scoffed, waving her hand. I didn't steal your money. I just looked at the window dressing. And now that I know you're not a scrub, we can actually move forward. I was going to break it off tonight if you were broke, David. I'm doing you a favor by staying. Now, are we going to order, or are you going to keep pouting about me being thorough? She picked up the wine list. I saw they have a 2015 Cabernet that got great reviews. Since I know you can afford it now, maybe we should celebrate our transparency. I looked at her. I looked at her stunning dress, her perfect hair, and the absolute void where her soul should have been. She genuinely thought she had done nothing wrong. She thought the ends justified the means. In her mind, my bank account was the only thing that qualified me for her affection. A dark, cold calm washed over me. You're right, I said, forcing a smile onto my face. It felt tight, unnatural, but she bought it because she wanted to buy it. I'm sorry. I'm private about this stuff. My ex ruined me financially, so I hide it. But if we're going to be serious, you deserve to know. Her eyes lit up. The predator had caught the prey. I knew it, she purred, reaching across the table to touch my hand. I knew you were hiding something. I just want us to be secure, babe. Let's celebrate, I said. Put that wine list down. If we're doing this, we're doing it right. I signaled the sommelier. He drifted over in his tuxedo, looking down his nose at us. We'll take the Chateau Margaux, I said loud enough for the next table to hear. The 2009. Vanessa's eyes widened. She knew wine enough to know that wasn't cheap. David, are you sure? For us? I smiled. Absolutely. And let's get the seafood tower. The big one. With the lobster tails. The sommelier raised an eyebrow, his demeanor instantly changing from haughty to obsequious. An excellent choice, monsieur. I will bring it to the table immediately. Vanessa looked at me, and for the first time all night, she looked actually happy. Not calculating, not assessing, but happy. Wow, she breathed. Okay. I guess you really were hiding the good stuff. You have no idea, I said. The wine arrived. The sommelier presented the bottle like it was a holy relic. He poured a taste for me. I swirled it, sniffed it, and nodded. Perfect. He poured 2 glasses. The dark red liquid shimmered in the candlelight. To transparency, I said, raising my glass. To us, Vanessa said, clinking her glass against mine. She took a long sip, closing her eyes. Oh my God. That is incredible. How much is this? Don't worry about the price, I said. I can afford it. You verified that yourself. She giggled. Actually giggled. I did. And I'm glad I did. Now I don't have to worry about you asking me to split the bill. Never again, I lied. Go ahead, order whatever you want. The Wagyu looks good. She ordered the Wagyu ribeye. I ordered the sea bass. We sat there for 45 minutes, eating luxury food and drinking wine that cost more than my first car. I played the part perfectly. I told her about the stock options. I told her about the house I was looking at in the hills. I watched her mentally decorating the living room of a mansion I hadn't bought yet. She was charming. That was the scary part. When she thought I was rich, she was the perfect date. Funny, attentive, touching my arm, laughing at my jokes. It made me realize that the connection we had on the first 2 dates was completely conditional. If that credit score had been 650, she would have walked out before the appetizers arrived. The bottle was about half empty when she placed her napkin on the table. "I'm going to run to the ladies' room and freshen up," she said, winking at me. "Don't drink all the good stuff while I'm gone." "Take your time," I said. "I'll be right here." She grabbed her purse, of course, and sashayed toward the back of the restaurant. I watched her go. I waited until the restroom door swung shut behind her. I checked my watch. 8:15 p.m. I caught the waiter's eye. "Excuse me." He hurried over. "Yes, sir. Is everything to your liking?" "The food is fantastic," I said. "Listen, I hate to be this guy, but I think I left my lights on. I parked around back. I'm just going to run out and check real quick." "Don't clear the plates, we're still working on that wine." "Of course, sir. Take your time." I stood up. I didn't take my jacket, it was a cheap blazer anyway. Leaving it on the chair sold the lie. I walked casually toward the back entrance, past the kitchen, past the bathrooms. I could hear the faint sound of a hand dryer running behind the ladies' room door. I pushed open the heavy steel door to the alleyway. The cold night air hit me, feeling like freedom. I let the door close softly behind me. Then I ran. I sprinted down the alley, around the block, and back to the parking lot where my trusty, dented Honda Civic was waiting. I jumped in, locked the doors, and started the engine. I peeled out of the lot, merging onto the main road, my heart hammering against my ribs. I didn't go home. I drove to a sports bar 3 miles away. I ordered a cheap beer and a burger. I put my phone on the table and waited. It took 12 minutes. 8:27 p.m. "Vanessa, I'm back." "Where did you go?" "The waiter said you went to check your car." I didn't reply. I took a bite of my burger. It tasted like justice. 8:32 p.m. "Vanessa, David? It's been like 15 minutes. The food is getting cold. Are you okay?" 8:40 p.m. "Vanessa, this isn't funny. Where the hell are you?" 8:45 p.m. "Vanessa, pick up your phone. The waiter is asking if we're done. I look like an idiot sitting here alone." 8:50 p.m. "Vanessa, David. Answer me." I unlocked my phone. I opened my banking app again. I took a screenshot of the fraud alert notification from earlier in the night. Then I opened my text thread with her. "Me, I'm not coming back, Vanessa. I know what you did." "Vanessa, what are you talking about? Get back here. They're bringing the check." "Me, you wanted to know my net worth. You illegally accessed my credit report. That's a felony. I hope the expensive wine was worth it. You're paying for it." "Vanessa, you cannot be serious. This bill is $800. I don't have that kind of money on me. You ordered the wine. You ordered the seafood tower. Me, consider it a tuition fee. You learned a valuable lesson tonight, never count another man's money before the check clears." "Vanessa, I will call the police. I will tell them you stole from me." "Me, go ahead. Tell them you stole my identity first. I have the fraud alert time-stamped. I also have the location data proving I wasn't the one who authorized the inquiry. The restaurant has cameras, Vanessa. They saw you holding my license." There was a long pause. The typing bubble appeared and disappeared 3 times. "Vanessa, David, please. I literally cannot pay this. My card is maxed out. They're going to call the cops on me." Me, better call that investment portfolio of yours. Maybe one of them can Venmo you. I blocked her number. But the story didn't end there. Oh no. Vanessa was not the type to go down quietly. The next morning, I woke up to a barrage of notifications on Instagram. She had posted a story. A picture of me, from date number 2, with the caption, "Beware ladies. This man is a scammer. He invites you to expensive dinners, orders hundreds of dollars of food, and then ditches you with the bill. He is a broke loser who preys on women. Please share." She tagged my employer. She tagged my gym. She tagged my sister, whom she had found through my mutual friends. I felt a spike of panic, but then I remembered who I was dealing with. She had poked the bear, but she forgot the bear works in data. I sat down at my computer. I drafted a post. I included the screenshot of the credit inquiry alert timestamp to the exact time of our date. I included a screenshot of her text admitting she had to be sure I wasn't broke. I included the text where she admitted her card was maxed out. I captioned it, "Since we're sharing stories, last night, my date stole my wallet while I was in the restroom to run an illegal background check on my credit score because she doesn't date projects. When I caught her, she admitted she only stayed because I had money. I decided she could pay for the dinner she felt so entitled to. Don't steal identities, folks. It's unattractive." I posted it. I tagged the local, Dating in, City, Facebook group. Within 2 hours, it had 400 shares. The comments were ruthless. She ran a credit check in the bathroom. That's psycho behavior. Wait, I know her. She did this to my brother. Imagine fumbling the bag this hard. By noon, she had deleted her post. By 2 p.m., she had deleted her Instagram. But the real cherry on top came 3 days later. I got a call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. It was a man's voice. Hey, is this David? This is, well, I'm the manager at Le Jardin. Look, we had an incident a few nights ago with a woman who couldn't pay her bill. The police were involved. She was screaming your name and showing us your picture. We have her on camera going through your wallet. We filed a report for theft of services because she tried to run out on the check too. The police asked for your contact info to corroborate the wallet theft. Give me a call back. I called him back. I sent over the fraud alert evidence. The police added identity theft to her charges of defrauding an innkeeper. It turns out, Vanessa tried to tell the cops that I had invited her and legally I was obligated to pay. The cops explained that in the state of New York, unless there is a written contract, the person who consumes the food is liable for the food, and since I had left before the bill arrived, the contract of the meal fell on the person remaining at the table. Furthermore, because she admitted to the officer, in a panic, that she had checked my credit score to verify me, she essentially confessed to the federal crime on body cam footage. I didn't press charges for the identity theft. I figured the $800 restaurant bill, the night in a holding cell, and the social media shaming were punishment enough. Plus, a soft inquiry doesn't actually hurt my score. 6 months later, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She was with a guy who was wearing a suit that was a little too shiny and a watch that was definitely fake. She looked at me, turned ghost white, and practically dragged the guy out of the door. I looked down at my Honda key on the table and smiled. It might not be a Ferrari, but at least it's paid off. And my credit score? Still 810. Am I the monster here for leaving her with the bill, or did she get exactly the kind of financial reality check she deserved?
If you have made it this far and want to see more videos like this, then kindly subscribe and turn on notifications so you may never miss another story like this.